South Carolina. I had David Waters from Gators Breakdown on a few minutes ago because I've always had the thought about South Carolina as, okay, looking over the course of decades, why does this program, and when I say never, of course, it's not never, but never win. Well, I can't think of another program in the country, Will, that has as rabid a fan base, resources, and recruiting. They got football players, within 300 to 500 miles of them, and that they can't win.
You know what? It's crazy. I can explain it in a couple different ways. One, keep making bad hires, and it's hard to win football games. When you hire Will Muschamp, that explains a lot. I think part of it, though, college football, in my opinion, and it's not set in stone. But did you ever watch the documentary on the SEC network, Saturdays in the South? Phenomenal documentary, but it talked about traditions and history dating back to the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, the hiring of Vince Dooley at Georgia and Pat Dye at Auburn. It talked about even Steve Spurrier going to play at Florida, and then Florida obviously developing into what they were under Steve Spurrier. It talked about Bear Bryant. It even talked about great moments for Kentucky and Mississippi State and I forget his name. I apologize for Tennessee. Conridge. I want to say Thompson, but I know that's not right. But, it talked about all these moments, and South Carolina doesn't have that history. And I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult in 2020 to take a program that's nothing and turn it into something. And South Carolina's fighting that. We'll see if Shane Beamer, a young guy, a guy that exudes a lot of energy, in a lot of ways, kind of reminds me of Dabo Swinney. Now, can he get the program going in that fashion? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But the energy, the charisma, that's a lot of things. I like the person there's what is that? A Bama fan told me Pat Dye was paying players. Buddy Rowe, the SEC, the whole business is paying players. It's not just, it wasn't just Auburn. It's everybody. And go back and watch that documentary again if you haven't. Go back and watch Saturdays in the South. I think it explains a lot of things about the SEC and where it's at. But it also explains, I think, how difficult it is for a program like South Carolina, who 24/7 Sports just put out has one of the top 5 facilities in the country. It's tough, man. It's tough. You've got to be able to build a program with tradition, with history, and there certainly that lacks at South Carolina.